welcome back to my channel. This is Jyari Priya. In this video I'm going to talk about Renaissance or the revival, and if you don't know what is Renaissance, you will find many problems while reading Shakespeare's work and also Edmund Spenser, Faerie Queene, and you will find also many references in the works of Robert Browning. So if you want to understand it and enjoy them, then please do understand Renaissance first. Now what is Renaissance? Renaissance, the original word that came from Italy, and that means the rebirth or the regeneration of anything. Now the second thing is that what is Renaissance? Renaissance was a cultural and artistic movement that first began in Italy in 14th century, and that lasted till early of 17th century. Now why it is the artistic movement? Because the artist started following same style for a longer time of that period. And the second one, that it is called also cultural movement, because the people started following a new way of life. They changed their thinking, they changed their ideology, they changed their rules and regulations towards life, and that's why it was also known as cultural movement. Now how the Renaissance came in Italy? Now in Italy there was a city called Constantinople, and that was once captured by the Turkey, and that is popularly known as the fall of Constantinople. Now when the Turkey started controlling over the people of Constantinople, the people of Constantinople started moving themselves towards the other cities of Italy, and they started moving with the classical text in their hands. Now before Renaissance, the Church of Italy had not that much influential. That was after the Renaissance. So people started moving with their text, and they started getting their interest on much more studying on the text of the classical writers. Now the Renaissance development. Renaissance started developing many things, and in many fields, like all the religion, the fields of religion, fields of arts, fields of literature, fields of politics, fields of science, fields of medicines. Okay. Now what is English Renaissance? First Renaissance started in Italy, and it was later spreaded all over the Europe, and England was not also an exception. When it came in England, it is called as English Renaissance. Now during Henry VIII, the Renaissance came in England, but it was not that much popular during him. And when his daughter Elizabeth I came into throne, at that time the Renaissance took its peak, and that's why it is called also the golden age of England. Now many writers like William Shakespeare and poets like Edmund Spenser, Philip Sidney, who were writing at that time. And there are many philosophers like Thomas More, whose Utopia is also very famous, and William Tyndall, who published his Renaissance Bible. And now let's understand why Bible was published. Because after Renaissance, when people started reading those books, they started questioning the rules and regulations of the church. They started questioning the power of the Pope. Then they stopped believing them blindly, and they started reading the Bible. But Bible was written in Latin language, so it was very difficult to understand for the English speakers of England. So William Tyndall first published his work Bible in English. That was in 1525, and that was a great change in England. And after that came also the James Bible. That was the first authorized Bible. Now there was also one change, and that was the printing press came in England. First printing press came in German. That was by Gutenberg. Came in England by William Caxton. And after the invention of the printing press, there were a number of books that were published, and that were printed, and people started reading those books with a much cheaper cost. And then they started understanding beyond their thinking limit. They started questioning whatever they were seeing at that time. So people started inventing many things, discovering many things. So that was great influence of Renaissance. Now, in England, there were such writers like, William Shakespeare and Christopher Marlowe. There were many other playwrights you can see, and the essayists like Francis Bacon, Richard Hakluyt, and they were such great figures who were inventing many writings, and they were greatly influenced by Renaissance also. Now, the effect of Renaissance. Number one effect was that people started believing on much more themselves rather than the popes of the church, and they stopped believing the church blindly. Number two effect was that the Renaissance humanism came, when they started emphasizing on the desires of human being. Earlier they used to find only the way of salvation of soul, but after Renaissance they started thinking about human being, their desires, their structure, and we find the evidence in the paintings of great artists, right, like Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael. They were focusing on much more the human rather than the god. Number three effect was that there were a great development in science also. People started inventing lands and many things in scientific field. Number four, that artistic development was also there just by the Renaissance. Okay, and we have the figures like Thomas More and William Shakespeare and many more. So yeah, that was all about my video. If you really like, then don't do anything, just watch my video. Thank you, bye bye.